There you are. Again. Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today. Was Prince murdered? Maybe. Perhaps. So yeah, Prince, the purple one. The artist formerly known as. Yeah, sad. Genius. He changed the world and but yeah, there's something suspicious about his death. Very suspicious. And I was gonna mention that there's a website that a website, a YouTube channel that focuses on the death investigation, and they have put up like the uh, recordings of like the investigator who's looking into, and I don't know, I can't find it. It's scrubbed because I was going to give them some love. The weird thing about this investigation, like the people in Minneapolis that are investigating it, the woman who's calling around and investigating, she's like, well, this is my first investigation, and I'm like third fiddle on a different. They're not even they're just they gave it to some nobody's, and that's what you would do. You would use someone without any. If you want to cover up something, you don't have to do any. Just let them do. Just put somebody that isn't qualified, that doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, granted, bless her heart, she's probably trying, but and there's some shady stuff. Uh, so let's get into it. So Prince. Of course, he's dead. But no, at first he overdosed on a private jet. They had the land and they gave him Narcan and this, that, and that. So it's like, well, of course, supposedly he was an addict, like Percocet, Percodan. That's what he was. Um, and they revived him and he went about his day. I mean, but there's some things the strange things, like he just got back his catalog, and that's another suspicious thing. The person that was represent, and I'm going to speak in generalities. I'm not going to mention names, but the person that was like handling his, representing him to get his catalog, they got it back after he's had decades of lawyers and teams or whatever. Here comes this one person who's like right in there, like in one meeting with Warner Brothers, and yep, here you go. And then they made it like, oh, well, now we got it. Well, here's the problem: we got to find a distributor, Prince, and this, that, and the other. Like he was, what had no money coming in, and at the end there, man, he was literally doing cash gigs at his complex, like $80, come see Prince, cash only, just. And the person that got his catalog back at the time of his death, it was still in their name. Like somehow they put it in their name, and oh, we forgot to transfer that. Darn it. And of course he was. I mean, he's Prince, and he was caught like the day before and the couple days before, like riding his bike to the CVS, like Great Walgreens. Went and saw a doctor to get, again, if you are hooked to the gills, if you've been doing a certain drug for like a long time, you need a detox, and you need it's rough. Um, Anybody, I don't care who you are. And drug addiction is a disease. It's it's a mixture of like your personality defects and your this and that and the other, and it's not it's a mental disease, because somebody sane wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And it affects us all. Everybody in their family, everybody has a family member that was. So yeah, Prince is. It just gets so sketchy. I mean, that night he died, or that more they dropped him off. See, I want to be by myself. He's alone in that huge complex. There's not one security guard. There's not nothing. You're Prince, one of the most famous people in the world. You're just like, no, just leave me be in this by my side. I see. That dog don't hunt, man. And then he's found in an elevator, dead, like already stiff as a board. And the strength they released. Have you seen those death photos of him? Dear Lord, poor Prince. Strange thing is, his pants are inside out. He's wearing that same hat. So the footage that you see that last time he goes to the Walgreens or the doctor with that black hat and that black, that's what they found him in. He's wearing the same clothes. He looks like he's posed, man. And he looks like well, see, I think they messed up because in the series of photos I saw, one picture of the elevator was like pristine. The other one, there was blood all over the place. It's like, huh, did you mix up some pictures? What? There's no blood on his body or anything, or his clothes. What's that picture of the blood? It's the same elevator picture. I don't know. Maybe they messed up when they were like, dang, we mixed in the wrong photo. The one we cleaned up, we shouldn't have. See, I'm dumb. And of course, there's a video you can watch them walking around the compound with him laying there dead, man. They just kind of blur it out. You can find the one where he's not blurred out, but it's just something isn't right. This cop is like, do 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 do. He's laying there. They pulled him on the bro. They're getting sloppy. They're not as good as they used to be. These dealers of death, I should say, and cover up people, whatever. Now, why would somebody want Prince dead? Old as time, money. His catalog was shit. You know how much money? It's a lot of money. And he was hard to deal with. I'm sure they're like, well, we're just tired of dealing with him. Sketchy. And in the video, they're walking around, or it was a picture, like literally, like they said they found cocaine. You could see it just dumped. There's a big pile, and you can see how it's spread, hadn't been touched, hadn't been cut with that, nothing. It's just like, dink. That's suspicious. That's like you planted some. It's like, oh, put it in there. They make it look like he's a junkie. And everybody around him said, man, I've never seen Prince do a drug. Especially cocaine. Like, he didn't like it. Oh, but that night, see. And I don't even think there was any in his system either. Why would there be a big pile of sketchy? And then they found a bag. It's just like a bank bag, deposit bag, with literally like Prince written on it. Come on, man. Like a marker. Of course, it's full of like money and drug. Yeah. And nobody was there. They're saying like, oh, he wanted to be left alone. Are you shitting me? It's so big. He is alone. Come on. There isn't one employee, not one security guard. And that whole complex. He was just left alone, and he could, hey, do whatever he wanted. And then they find him dead in an elevator. Supposedly, he didn't like that elevator. He never used it. Nobody ever saw him use it. Because I guess the top floor of his place was just his. You weren't even allowed up there. Only a certain few people could go up to his like realm in different rooms. And another thing, it was sparse. Like how he lived, he had like mattresses on the floor and just like there wasn't that much furniture. Kind of sad. I mean, I know people are like, I'm kind of like that, but you think you're Prince, you could have this and that. And he had mansions. I don't know. Something's fishy. And so yeah, he's found dead. They do it's fentanyl. Now, if he's doing Percodan, there shouldn't be any fentanyl anywhere. But of course, oh yeah, he's got the pump full of it, enough to kill like 10 people. What? Of course, you don't need much fentanyl to die, but and then the most suspicious thing is the pills they found look like it said Percodan on it or Percocet or whatever he was taking, and it was just fentanyl. Where did he get? You need a manufacturing. That's some kind of intelligent. Who would make that? Same color, same this, that, and the other. So was he just doing his regular thing after a gig? Like, oh, I'll take a couple of the, a couple of that. And then someone switched it for fentanyl. They look the same. They did that, but they don't. And wouldn't they know if he went and they pumped his stomach and gave him Narcan or whatever that night he was on the jet? Wouldn't they know he was on fentanyl? Wouldn't you take his blood and test what he was on and tell him, say, hey, man, you got a gut full of fentanyl? I guess not. I guess, okay, we got you back. Bye. Strange, mysterious world we live in. But yeah, something ain't right. Like something is not. You just can't find fentanyl that looks like Percocet. I mean, what? It looks the same. It's a yellow pill. It says that the name. Who would do that? Who would have the wherewithal and the, you know, to do something like that? And why is his catalog up in the, and I heard they like paid off the family. I don't, it just, it's a shit show, man. And why aren't they investigating it? And why is the person that was like the local Minneapolis police department, she admitted that she was like lower level. She had never dealt with basically a murder investigation, let alone Prince. And it's a drug, shit. See, that's how they get you. That's how they, if you went in there with a gun and shot him, then it'd be suspicious. But if he was, of course, a junkie. I mean, he's a musician. Of course he is. Pardon me. I'm not well. So I think something's up. Humble opinion. I don't know. Could be. Maybe. Perhaps. But something ain't right. Where did he get this, these pills? And he was just at that doctor's did he give them to him? Who is this doctor? Why haven't they interviewed him? And he's cleared. Everybody's cleared. And there was like a specialist that showed up that day, and he had a bag full of like a recovery specialist. And huh? And they're like, no, go ahead, go about your day. We don't know. What else was going on? And why was he doing? He had to do cash gigs. Like he had a compound. He had like a big stage in there and stuff. And he was like, like advertising locally, like cash only, come see Prince. That's some shady shit. Cash only. You're Prince. Don't you have like a line of credit? Can't you just like, what else was going on? Was there some kind of again, they just will murder rock stars. I mean, it just seems like Coolio just passed and people were like, oh, there's some kind of, he was about to, and there was I think it was called Rock Confidential. They only made one episode. It was hosted by Gene Simmons. Try to find that if you can. And they're interviewing Coolio. And he said that, man, back in the 90s when he was like hot, had Grammy, whatever, he found out that like a one floor of the building the record label was in, they said they were publicists and marketing people. They were hitmen, he said. It's what Coolio said. Like they had offices. That's all they did was just plan and go out. Shit. Now, why would he say something like that if it wasn't true? Is he paranoid? Or was he paranoid? I mean, there aren't any. Everybody has been the 90s, the grunge singer, they're all gone. I mean, everybody. I think like Eddie Vedder is the only one left around that was strange. And of course, every time something comes up where you're trying to get your catalog or this and that and the other, getting power, getting your own, you're gone. Michael Jackson, Prince, you name it, man. On and on and on and on. It's been going on for decades. Something's not right. And why won't they? Isn't there some kind of oversight committee or some kind of government? Can't they like just at least fake it? Oh, see, well, that's how we don't. Come on. People aren't that dumb. But most people, if they see it on the news or read it in the newspaper or see it online or something, it's the gospel. Once they've made up you can't change their mind. Most people are cynics. They do what they're told. They're just cynical about everything. Oh, see, I would never. You can't pull the wool. That's all they do is pull the wool over your eyes. That's the life you live. It defines you. Where's any kind of independent thought? Is that even a thing? Oh no, you better not. must do the robotic, it's like the Borg. And nobody said, come on. And the people around him, like a lot of at the end there, they weren't qualified to be dealing with this high level kind of, you know, um, dealing with like publishing and catalogs and record label. You just can't. And that one person, they show up and like after he's had a team of lawyers for decades negotiating and this and that. No, no, no. And this one person goes in there by themselves and yep, it's done. Huh? I'm the best. And they've never done that before. That's not what their specialty is. They just go in there. I say and also they're this and that and the other thing. I'm not going to mention names or whatever, but they are just like, what? Suspicious. Poor Prince. I mean, I've heard he was like difficult to deal with, and um, you know, again, he's a genius, man. He didn't want a bunch of lollygagging fools around him telling him what to do. By then, can you trust anybody at that level? Like Prince, could he even trust people that were? Did he have any real friends? I mean, it's lonely at the top, I hear. And it's happened every big star. It seems like they all end up that way. Elvis, and of course, drugs are involved. You wouldn't think that that's what their thing is. You want to assassinate somebody or do something like that, you use drugs. You can't use a gun or a knife or, you know, nobody's going to investigate. Well, he just overdosed. No, see, there's the pills on the table. Okay, done. Just shady. Like they think we're dumb. They think that we're like, I just want to tell me what to think. And it's sad. I love Prince. I was for one, I was a big Prince fan, more even Michael Jackson. I like Michael Jackson, but Prince back in like the early 80s, like 1999 and Purple Rain, I was all in. I loved the movie Purple Rain. I went and saw it when it was out over and over again. And he's one of the best guitar players. Shit. And he could play drums and he could do most of those albums. It's all Prince. Keyboards, piano, drum, everything. Percussion, you name it. He was doing it. Greed. And people are that's part of a mental illness when you have to like kill people for steal their money. I mean, shit. Couldn't they get like a super sleuth? Hold on, someone's at my door. It's the neighbor's door. Yeah, I got neighbors. In this old house, the walls are paper thin. But I told everybody I live around, like, hey man, in the morning, because it's like what 9:32 in the a.m. Like, don't come knocking at my door. Between like, I don't know. I usually don't go past like 11 or noon, but it's like, hey, if I'm in, me no likey you. Thank you. But yeah, something suspicious. I hope that something. It doesn't seem like it is. It doesn't seem like anything's going to come out of this. It seems like it's already over. Like it's swept under the rug, and like people have fallen for this. Again, I wish I had that YouTube channel, but it seems like it's been scrubbed. I can't find it. I tried before I was doing this podcast. I tried, and I was gonna do another podcast, but I was like, oh my god, I don't know why I was thinking about Prince, but I'll do one about Prince. I like Prince. Try to play some of that stuff, man. It's tough. I mean, he was in heels, jumping and spinning. I mean, he just was shit. It's sad. It's brutal. and that nobody will, the record label, old man, what would, no, it's just like, oh, now see, this kind of, and he was Prince. The investigation was local investigators. Again, they gave it to like the second or third investigator. Wasn't even the lead investigator. Nah, I got bigger things. Yeah, I gotta. It is. They've gotten so lazy. They are lollygagging. They're not even good at what they do. You know, if that's what you do, if that's what you are, like, oh, I'm an assassin. Like, they've gotten. I guess they're not as good as they used to be. I don't know. This world is corrupt. Nowadays, people just take everything. Well, no, see, it's just that's what it is. Just don't. And of course, the public, me included, I'm not excluding myself, are just lackadaisical about. We don't speak up. The older generation would. They'd be like, "Hey, I need answers. I want that. No, you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're this and that and the other thing." Something's not right. Something got. And when they the pills that they literally said, "Well, it's so we could never find out who manufactured them because it could be what." Are you kidding me? Well, it could have been anybody. Well, see, okay, they know. They even admit something was suspicious, but we can't see. We don't know. We just that's not our forte, so we'll just kind of leave it be. Shit. He's Prince. Doesn't he have fuck? Or do you want to come forward? Like, man, I ain't coming forward because they killed Prince. They could. And he's on his bike. There's video of him on his bike, riding his bike to CVS or Walgreens. That is sad. Why didn't he have somebody take him? I don't know. And you could say, well, he was trying to hide it. Come on, he's Prince. He doesn't hide it. Come on, shit. Riding your bike. Don't you think he knew there was camera? They stalked him. You could sell those pictures every day to video pictures. He had to know that he was being followed. Something else was. I mean, he was. The DTs when when you need your dope, it's tough. You're not thinking right. You're just you're like a instinct, like your body and you're dope sick and you would think he'd have like a mystery stash, like I'm just gonna have a. But fentanyl. He didn't do fentanyl. It's just like, come on. That's the new assassin thing is a fentanyl. And there's so much of it coming around. Across the border not too long ago, they seized enough fentanyl to kill us all. Like everybody in America, man, woman, child, everybody. I think like 2 times over. If you touch that stuff, there's videos of people just touching it, investigated, and oh my God, and they fall out. Have to give them Narcan. What is up? Is it just crazy people running the world? I guess so. Can you even get a good job unless you're, well, see, I'm an assassin. I'm crazy. I'm this. I'm that. You're hired. Now, how do you go about with all these cameras and recording devices? How do we not have any? You mean to tell me there weren't any cameras in Prince's? And he was there alone in that big compound that's full of stuff you know how much stuff he had? How much expensive stuff? I mean, come on, man. Well, he wanted to be left alone that night. I dropped him off. Shit. Nobody was hanging out outside. Was there like one security guy? Maybe there might have been one like just walking around outside in the cold Minneapolis. I mean, shit. There's a few people. I wish I could find that YouTube channel. And they did investigate like his old security and his old man and stuff. And some of them kind of hint around, like, yeah, I can't say much. They don't want to say, I don't blame them. And then that mystery person who like went into Warner Brothers by themselves and walked out with like, yeah, we got your stuff back, but it's in their name. His whole catalog. Is that what he's dealing with? Did he know? Like, oh shit. So he'd do more. He's like, he's stressed and anxiety. He'd have to do more Percocet. Obviously, he trusted the wrong people. That's obvious, man. And the people around him are some shady, you know. And where are they at now? And what is up with his catalog? Like, they don't say anything about like how much money he was generating, and why did he have to do cash gigs? That's what my band and I would do. It's just like, huh? Cash at the door. He needed petty cash. What the? That's just not right. Very suspicious. Humble opinion. That's just my humble opinion. Who manufactured that stuff? You'd have to have machines and this and that and the other. And to work around fentanyl, you have to have a freaking, you know, astronaut suit. You can be breathing, you know, shit. You've got it on your skin. It'll soak them. Come on. Intelligence. That's something bigger. Why don't they look into these things? I don't get it. They've weaponized everything. They go after artists. It's sad. It's not good. Of course, it's not good. Brutal. Friggin' Prince. Wrap your mind around that. That he had to do cash gigs, riding his bike to Walgreens. No one there. Oh, he liked to be alone. Well, shit, that place is so big, you are alone. You know, huh? Something ain't right. Something's not right. Look, I do this every day. Please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, it's in the description. There's information on Zelle. I'm also on Rumble. Just join Rumble. Check me out on Rumble. And yeah, I do this every day. Haven't missed a day in like 5 months. Every day. It's been brutal every day. And I do it in the morning because that's when I have the most energy. Well, I love y'all. Again, I'll be here tomorrow. Rant like a madman. Love you. Be blessed. Cheers.